Hello, my friend. Welcome to your Lotus Library practice. I am glad that you're here. This is one I'm entitling Get to Know. Get to Know. The easiest thing to do when we don't agree with someone is just to write them off, right? Just to write them off as ignorant or insert judgment of some type. And it's much harder, yet more rewarding, I believe, to get to know them and to really learn their story. So I believe that nothing dissolves animosity and increases compassion faster than really learning about where someone comes from and which experiences have shaped their lives and their perspectives. And that's probably what prompted Abraham Lincoln, the quote, his remark that said, "I don't like that man. I must get to know him better." So the question is there someone in your life that perhaps just annoys you? And maybe this is a person that you could get to know better, learn more about their story and why they have the perspective that they have. And or could we apply this to ourselves? Can we get to know ourselves better, understand ourselves better? And that is what the practice of yoga lends us always. The word is actually called svadhyaya. Svadhyaya means self-study. So as we practice yoga, we get a heightened sense of awareness if we choose, and we learn more about ourselves. We get to know ourselves on deeper and deeper levels. And some of the things we learn about ourselves we really like, and there's other things that are complex and difficult and um, just very maybe frightening, and we don't want to go there. We don't want to look into that. So that's what I'm putting out for us today, just to think about this, getting to know ourselves better, maybe understanding why we're judgmental of ourselves or we're critical of ourselves, maybe understanding how our conditioning from our past affects our beliefs and our choices and our behaviors. So let's close our eyes as we often do and take a few moments to just drop in. Drop into this space and this time and this experience that awaits us. And just give yourself an energetic welcome. Welcome to your practice. Welcome to this time to get to know you on a much deeper level. Get to know your body, what's happening there, what areas might need a little more attention, a little more kindness or compassion extended towards them. And just begin to bring awareness into your breathing now, feeling the full cycle of breath, welcoming the inhale and sending the exhale on its way. And feeling your hands wherever they are in space. Bring the hands together in front of heart and take a moment to bow. Our bow is just an acknowledgement of this time, this sacred time that we set aside for ourselves. May we be open and receptive to the lessons and the benefits of our practice. And lifting the head, release the hands, let the eyes open. And we're going to start in a lying down position on our backs. And I forgot to let you know that it would be helpful if you have a belt or some kind of strap or towel. And also, if you have access to a wall. Now, you'll be able to do it if you don't have access to a wall, but the wall gives us a good reference point. So if you have a wall nearby that you could move your mat to at a certain point, or maybe even right now, just pause me, and that would be helpful at a certain point. Alrighty, so onto our mats we go. Please have your belt, and we're going to start in a reclined position on our backs. I'm going to lengthen my belt out here. We're going to start right off with opening up through the hamstrings and warming up here. So we'll put the belt on the ball of the right foot, extend both legs straight, and then put the belt in your right hand. So put it together as one unit. As always, let your right elbow come to the ground and rest there. And we're just going to sway the leg here out and across the body. So just out a little bit and across the body, maybe 4 to 6 inches each way from the midline. Yeah, and just begin to drop into that feeling state, getting to know ourselves, and be aware of your breathing, and just swaying back and forth. Now we'll stop it in the middle, separate the belt into 2 pieces with your elbows opened out here to the side, and now bend the knee towards the right shoulder and push the leg straight out. Let's do that several times. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend, giving just a gentle pull on the belt. Exhale, straighten. 2 more times. And we'll hold the straighten, put the belt back into your right hand. Engage the abdomen here so we can stay very steady in the pelvis. And now slowly venture out with your leg, moving further and further out to the right without letting the left hip pop up if possible. I find lengthening my left leg and anchoring the heel helps keep the pelvis more steady, more stable. And then holding here, just press through the ball of your right foot into the belt. So a little more organic extension out through your right leg. But breathing here, we hold. And I have my right elbow parked on the floor. Good. On an inhale, bring the leg back up. And then we'll just do all of that on the second side. So bring your left leg up, put the belt right on the ball of the foot. Put the belt in your left hand, left elbow on the ground. And then start with an easy sway. A little bit in each direction. Easy does it. We're just beginning to get more acquainted with our bodies on this day. This day, it's different every day, isn't it? These bodies every day. Reminds me of a Rumi poem. We are a guest house, every day a new emotion. Welcome them all. Not always easy to do. Let's stop in the middle. Separate the belt now into 2 pieces and just let your elbows wing out to the sides. Inhale, bend the knee towards the left shoulder. Exhale, straighten. Continue that. Let's do 2 more. And put the belt in the left hand. I need to move my body over here for space. And we'll slowly open the leg to the left now. Keep the abdominals engaged. Keep the right leg lengthening long. And open, open, open. Breathing consciously. And on an inhale, let's lift the leg back to center and release the belt. Good job. You can take the belt off to the side. Bring both legs towards your chest. Open the knees wide. Lift the feet up to happy baby and either hold the feet or the ankles and begin a nice easy rocking side to side. And then bring your legs together. Moving into a twist sequence, we'll take the arms in a T position, anchor the shoulders down, and then let the legs go part way to the right. I would say maybe halfway, and bring them back to center. And then to the left. As they go left, try to press the right shoulder down more. Bring them back to center. Over to the right, left shoulder presses down. center, over to the left, right shoulder presses down, center, one more time each way, back to center, and to the left, back to center. This time go all the way to the right, let the legs fall as far as you can, turn and look to the left, deep breath there. And then come up and over and let the legs go all the way to the left as you turn and look to the right. And then bring the legs back up to center. Place the feet on the ground. So a couple rounds of windshield wiper. Just go ahead and begin to let one leg fall in and alternate. Getting all our parts warmed up here so we can move freely, more freely. I'm sure we'll still find some hidden spots along the way, which is always the case as we get to know ourselves. We find some little hidden thoughts or emotions or experiences that we've tucked away. Good. Coming to center now, roll completely to the right, and let's transition ourselves up into hands and knees position. And you can orientate yourself whichever way is comfortable on your mat. I'm going to face you, and that way I can use my mat the long way, but you, depending upon your place, you can make that decision. So we're going to start on hands and knees position, and this is going to be a little more rhythmic variation of thread the needle. So we're going to take the left hand, thread it under, and come down for a brief moment. So the head just touches the floor and then come up. Switch sides. So slide the other arm through, lightly touch the side of the head and come up. And again, swoop it through, thread the needle, reach really long with your arm and bring it up and back you go. Second side, way over, reach the arm dynamically and then come up. Now we'll take and add the leg. Let's take the left leg out to the side, left leg out, and shift the hips back and forward just a few times. And then we're going to move this leg slightly forward on the diagonal. So we'll move it up here into more of a lunge position, a diagonal lunge, and move back and forth there a few times. And then we'll do that to the other side. So legs straight out first, hips go back and forward. We're awakening the inner rim of the hip here, as you can feel through your inner thigh. And now we'll take that leg and move it up to the diagonal and back and forth we go here a few times. Good, one more. And then bring your leg on back. Good. Now let's combine a few of these things. So we're going to take the left leg out to the side and then take the left arm and go opposite. Take the left arm and go opposite. Now the head may or may not touch the ground. We're just going to be here a brief moment, reach through and then come up. Now keep the leg there. Let's just switch arms and bring this arm through. It's a little easier to get your head and shoulder down this direction. Holding here, and then up we go. We'll switch sides. So bring the right leg out, and we'll go away from it first. So you're going to take that right arm through, looking away. It's harder to get my head down here. And then lift, and now we'll go towards the leg, reach through, bring the head down, and breathe. And then lifting yourself on up. Fantastic. Bring the leg in. I'm going to turn on my mat here so I can place my hands here. And let's lift up to our first down dog. And let's bring a little bit of a twist component into our down dog. So feet are hip width apart. Bend both knees generously. Stabilize your right arm. So that means lift your shoulder forward towards your fingertips. Get it strong and steady. And then take your left hand across for twisted dog, holding the shin, the knee, somewhere on the leg, maybe the ankle, and then begin to turn. Totally up to you if you want to try to straighten the legs, see how that might feel, or keep them bent and just keep focusing more on the torso twisting. And a good strengthener for the right shoulder, stabilizing. Let's come back. Stabilize the left arm, move the shoulder towards the fingertips, and then the right hand comes across. Your knees can be bent. It's just easier to grab your leg there, but you could try to straighten, maybe even just your left leg. Twisting, twisting, twisting your torso. That's our main focus. Good. And then come back to center. We'll lower the knees down, come out of the hands for a moment, just sitting back into child's pose. And let's tap into the breath. Easy, slow breath in. Complete breath out. Good. And then pull yourself on up onto your stomach. We'll take the hands out for a funky cobra. Strong legs, and then inhale, rise. And exhale, enjoy lengthening your spine as you lower down. Let's do that 2 more times, just getting in the flow with your breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, growing longer. And once again, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. All right, hands beside your chest. We'll lift up and back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here as you hoist your pelvis higher, maybe a tiny bend in your knees, see how that feels. And then let the hips begin to sway a little left and right. And let's step the right leg on up. Lower the back knee, inhale, stretching up to Anjane. And then pull down to cactus pose. Hold here and draw your legs towards the midline, stabilizing the pelvis and legs. Begin to twist to your right. As you twist to the right, expand the arms out. Holding here, like from below the navel, we're turning to the right. Good. Sweep the arms down, touch, and step back to downward facing dog. Deep breath here with a little bend in the knees. Stepping the left leg on up, back knee down to the mat, and come up to Anjane. And then down to cactus pose, pausing to stabilize the legs and pelvis more, squeezing them inward. And then turn to your left, nice and slow. And when you get here, extend the arms. Sweep the arms down, touching, and we'll lift the back leg this time, and please step forward, coming on up to the front of the mat. Bending your knees, coming into chair pose, hands come up to heart center and pause. Meet up with your breath. Twisting now to your right, bring your left elbow across in side prayer and holding here for a couple breaths. And then reach down, touch the mat as you straighten your legs fully. Let's add 3 pranams. Inhale, extend your chest, your heart. Exhale, bow. 2 more. Last one. Good. Hands to heart center as you come up to chair. Twisting to your left now. Bring the right elbow across. Breathe into the lungs here as you turn and twist. And then reach down, touch the mat. Now we'll be going into a pyramid position, so you might want to have 2 blocks if your hamstrings are a little on the shorter side. Step your right leg back, starting in a lunge position, and this is where your blocks can come in handy on either side of your front ankle if desired. Now lift the pelvis up so that you can straighten the front leg. Hello, Cash, welcome. And then let's steer the right hip bone forward a little. and lengthen the spine and just holding here. Anchoring a little more weight in the big toe side of the front foot. Now bring your left hand onto your left hip. Tack that hip back a bit. Keep a long spine as you begin to twist in these legs, in your pyramid legs. Just holding here. Notice all the little sensations. Getting to know yourself in this position. Coming back down to center, bend the front leg and please step forward and exchange. Take the left leg back now. Lift the pelvis nice and high to straighten the front leg. And then we just take our time. First, we align the pelvis by drawing the left frontal hip bone forward a bit. Put a little more anchoring in the big toe side of the front foot. Thighs and pelvis move back as we elongate the spine. Start to tune in to what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. And then right hand on this hip. I'm just going to draw that hip back. It's very subtle, long spine. And I keep those two actions in place as we start to investigate or explore the twist. No need to bring the arm up at this point. Let's keep our focus down, rooted. And exhale, release back down. Awesome. Now we'll lower the back knee, move the right foot back. And this is where if you have a wall nearby, I would say bring your mat the long way near the wall with, maybe a few inches, 3 to 4 inches away from the wall. If you don't have a wall, no worries, you can still make it work. But there's something about that awareness of an object like a supportive wall that makes you twist a little more. I'm actually going to even come off my mat here. I don't even think you need a mat really. But I'm going to have you, if you're near a wall, bring your left shoulder, left leg near the wall, left leg forward. And if you're not, just pretend like there's a wall there, okay? So from here, we're going to take the right arm forward, the left arm down and back. And in this case, you can see the wall. Try to move your hands away from the wall. So back and lift up through the chest. So we're focusing on the arms on this one. Armpits back, arms moving away from the wall energetically. Now bring the arms down to your side. We're going to turn and go the opposite. And as you open now, focus on this front leg, your left leg, the knee moving in the direction of the wall, just a widening and moving towards the wall. Widening. I feel lots of resistance in my left inner thigh. It says no, but I'm just holding a little longer so it can get used to the new position. Good. Release down. We'll switch again. Turn, open, take the arms away from the wall. And then back and through. And I'm noticing as I turn here, I'm adjusting this back foot. It's coming inward towards the wall just a little bit to allow me to twist. Good. Let's release down. Well done. And do the other side. So you'll bring your right leg forward, right shoulder near the wall. And then left arm comes forward, right arm back, and we just turn to face the wall and lift or take the arms away from the wall energetically. Nice tall spine, lift up through the chest. Breathe and expand your fingers. Slowly down and through. And now as we go, we're going to focus on this front leg, the knee opening towards the wall. Doesn't need to touch the wall, but it's just opening in that direction. And I apologize if you're hearing other noise around. My husband's home today recovering from a hip replacement surgery. And so I'm realizing you can hear him. I can hear him a lot upstairs. Maybe, hopefully you can't. Let's swing around. We're learning to share space today. Open, 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 open. And then last time, come through, open the front knee, and release your arms. Awesome. Now take the leg down. We're going to come up to standing position. And please have a block. And we'll take the legs wide. I haven't done triangle in a long time. This is going to be a modified variation of triangle. Turn your right foot out. And then let's place the block in its high setting right behind the right ankle. Secure both legs, make sure they're straight and strong, and lengthen up through the spine. And then keep your pelvis here in the center as we tilt it. So try not to do that. Try not to tilt the pelvis if possible. For right now, keep it straight. And then just start to lean. Start to lean over, leaning, 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 until your fingertips touch that block lightly. Lightly touch the block. Good. Now take the top arm up into Trikonasana or triangle, and focus on your back leg from this hip all the way down. Energetically press through the leg. And then once you have that stable, reach up through the top arm even more. And now take the top arm over your ear. Start to extend your triangle a little bit more. What we want to avoid is dumping all of our weight down into this bottom hand. So I'm really pushing away, pushing into the block there so that I stay more uplifted. Reach long. Oh my goodness. Now bend your front leg and then just bring the arm on up, coming up nice and graceful, and turn that foot forward. And then we'll just transition our block over. So we turn the opposite foot out, nice and high. And then again, keeping everything this sense of lifted up, an uplifting feeling. We're going to keep our pelvis square here in the center as opposed to shifting, and tilt. So I'm really pressing strong to the back leg. I'm going to reach until I feel my fingertips touching the block and then push into the block. So from this back hip, we push strong through the back leg and then lengthen up through the top arm. Try to touch your ceiling. Good. And we're pressing into the block, and now we can explore the arm going over into extended triangle. Also, it helps to draw your ribs back into your body a little bit so they're not jetting forward, reaching long. Oh my, I just want to hold this for a long time. I'm really getting acquainted with what's happening in my world. How are you doing? Good. Inhale, come up. We forgot to bend the front leg. Sorry, bend the front leg and then come up. You don't have to, but it just feels good. And then step your legs together. Okie dokie. All right, we're moving in the direction of a nice little posture that has a big twist in it. So we're going to come down onto the floor, and you're going to need your block. So I'm going to turn and face away from you so you can see the setup. And you'll take the block adjacent to your hip. So let's go into the right side. The block will go out here. It's going to be about a leg's distance out. So your foot and ankle will rest on that. So you can adjust as you need. And then you might want to look at me first before you go into the position. So I'm going to be down here with my arms like this for a moment. I'm going to extend. Oops, I've got to move out a little bit. I hope my head's not cut off. If it is, just know my head's in there somewhere. I'm going to lift one leg up. Actually, I'm sorry, put it on the floor first. Shift over onto your hip first, and then extend the leg out. And here's where you can adjust the block. And then you'll get to use this opposite elbow to lift your shoulders slightly off the floor, and that will help you facilitate a twist. So go ahead and come with me now if you haven't already. The bottom leg is straight and active, almost like you're pressing into the wall, which I am here. And the top leg is on the block. You are on the side of your hip. Okay. Then you press into that elbow on the right side in order to lift and twist, and then extend your arms out. So this is equivalent to a revolved triangle pose. You're just lying down instead of standing, and turn your head to the left if you can. We keep our legs very active. Breathe, circulating breath through the entire body as we pause here and get to know ourselves in this position again. Now begin to bend your top leg, roll onto your back, shift your hips to neutral, and then you'll take your block and move it over to the other side. So way on over. I'm going to switch and bring my left leg straight, put the right foot on the floor, and then shift onto the left hip. I'll take the top leg out and find the pedestal of the block. You could also bring that block up higher if you need to. And then bending the elbows, press the elbows down to puff or lift the chest. I even feel my shoulders coming off the ground a little. That helps me then twist, turn the torso to the right, expand the arms, and keeping the legs again very enthusiastic. Breathe here. And just feel the shape that you're in. We're going to recreate this shape in a standing position, which adds in, of course, the components of balance and stability. It's good. This is kind of a dress rehearsal. Let's bend the top leg, roll onto the back, and just find a neutral position with your pelvis. Draw the knees into the chest. Take a deep breath here. And then roll off to your right side, and up we go. We'll come into standing position. Actually, we're going to come into the pyramid pose that we did earlier. So you might bring your 2 blocks if you found that helpful, and we'll come and stand between them at the front of the mat. So here we go. We're doing the exact same thing standing. It's just going to feel a little different. Take your right leg back into a lunge, and then lift the pelvis up. Now for this variation, our back heel will remain lifted off the floor. Okay, so it's not turned in, it's going to stay up like this. And then from here, press the pelvis back, lengthen the spine forward. We draw the right hip bone forward, left hand comes to the left hip. So just a reminder to keep the left hip back. Then we turn and we twist and we turn and we twist the torso. And then here you can add the arm if you'd like, extending upward like we did in triangle, energetically reaching up. There's a mighty conversation going on in my body. Are you having a conversation with yourself? Release down. It's all good. Bend and step forward and step the left leg back. Up we go with the hips, straightening both legs. Draw the left hip bone slightly forward, long spine. Right hand to the right hip, and just remind that hip to stay back as you turn and turn and turn. Good. I'm mindful to keep our head in line with the spine so we're not looking around this direction, staying in line. And then you can add the arm if you choose. And pressing down through the feet as you rise up through the hand. Right hip stays back, yes? Oh, yes, and remember to breathe. Release your arm down. Square up to the front and let's step forward. Good job. Bring your blocks out of the way and come up to standing. Let's try a little balance now and add a twist. So bring your right leg up in front of you and use your left hand underneath your thigh to hold. And just hold here. If you want to add more of a twist, take your right arm down and behind you. You could straighten this leg or keep it bent. And then you could start to turn your torso, and turn your shoulders, and turn your gaze. Just giving you options. And then releasing when you're ready. Come on back. Let's do the other side. So bring the left leg up, hold underneath with the right hand. And maybe this is where we stay. You can add the arm behind you and then just incrementally turn. I'm thinking about my navel region and my rib cage, then my shoulders, and eventually turning more through the neck. You can straighten the leg if you want. Keep dropping the hip down if you do that. Exploring the world of balance and your relationship with balance. And remembering not to fall into that judgmental place, right? Just try to understand maybe what's challenging the balance. Good, come back to center, release. Let's take a wide stance with the legs. Put some bend in our knees, and then keeping the bend in the knees, right here at the crease of the leg, press the creases back. So creases go way back as you come down to find the mat. My feet are straight ahead. Creases are pushing back. That's my focus here. And try to tilt the pelvis up slightly. Tilt the tail up just a little bit. Good. Keeping the creases pushing back. Walk the fingers forward so the arms get longer. We didn't take any weight out of the legs or feet. Okay, so we didn't shift forward. Hip creases back, arms long. Now we're going to walk the hands to the left and turn the body, turn the feet into a lunge position. Lower the back knee down and then come upright. Just put your hands on your knees here. Squeeze the legs towards the midline, towards the center, and then to your left hand on the outside of your right leg and swoop the right arm back. Reach back. Now you can stay here, or you can start to reach back down and find your heel. Yeah, this is a little different in this position. And you can take the top arm up. Oh my, that's a whole new thing. Feel all those new sensations. And then coming out, we'll touch down. Good job. Lift up, turn your torso, turn the feet, going all the way to the second side. Lowering the back knee, coming up and finding stability. We're going to hug the legs in. And then once we have that, we'll bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg and take the left arm back. Good. You can hold here, or you can start to reach back and drop down, trying to find your foot and ankle. Hopefully it's still attached to your body, and then add the opposite arm up. Leaning back, opening the chest, pressing the belly forward slightly. And inhale, rise. And once again, turn to the center. Last time here, we'll hold in the center with straight legs and then just let the torso release. Let gravity draw you downward. Well done. Oh, those twists are very neutralizing for the nervous system. So let's enjoy that now as we bring our feet inward first. Just draw them together, heel toe. Take a bend in the knees and roll up through your spine. And then from there, we'll come on down to the floor. Once you arrive, take the block and put it flat underneath your low back, your sacrum, just to kind of neutralize that area. We've been doing a lot of twisting in this session. So put the pelvis on the block and just give yourself a moment here to allow the pelvis to get very heavy. Meanwhile, upstream in your shoulders, you can just snuggle your shoulder blades under you a bit more. And then start to lift your feet. Maybe adjust the block under your back if you need to for more comfort. Should find a really sweet spot and let the legs float upward now. And then play around with just some easy movement through your ankle joints, circling or flexing and pointing. And then let's bend the right knee and you can reach up here and bring your hands onto that knee and then just focus on the stretch as you lower and lengthen the left leg. Just reach it long, opening up the front space here through the hip flexor. And this, after you lengthen the leg down, just keep extending that leg longer if you can. And then to transition the straight leg, bend and just draw it in and switch and hold it. And then extend the right leg up. So we come from the up position and lower and lengthen simultaneously. Come down, down, down. Once you feel that the heel has landed, if it has landed, either way, extend the leg out longer. And then bend the leg in. And this time we'll place both feet on the ground. Lift your pelvis an inch off the block, just a teeny bit, and move it side to side. Just a little sway of the hips left and right. And then come to the center and lower the pelvis down. Focus on a nice, slow, calming breath now. Maybe hands resting on the belly. Breathing in, creating fullness in the belly. Breathing out and emptying. And just beginning now to down regulate your nervous system through the breath, slowing the exhales down. And keeping ample weight, like an anchor in your low back, your sacrum area, just pressing that into the block. Our focus now is the breath, just smooth, steady, slow exhalation. And then pressing through your feet. Let's begin to slowly lift your pelvis, sliding the block out. And release your pelvis down. And now, my yogi friend, it's your choice whether you want to move into a shavasana or come up into a seated meditative position. I'm going to choose the seated position. You can choose lying down or sitting up as we bring closure to our practice with a meditation breath combination. So pick whichever you're comfortable with. I'm coming upright. And then if you're lying on your back, just get cozy and comfortable there. And let the eyes draw closed. And once you're in position and feel settled and comfortable, let's bring attention to your hands. Excuse me. Frog. Once the hands are placed where they're comfortable, turn the palms upward. Bring awareness to your thumb and your index finger and lightly join the two of them together. Once they're placed together, let's receive 2 full cycles of breath. Breathing in when you're ready. Breathing out. Again. And then changing the fingers, thumb and middle finger pressed together, 2 cycles of breath. Thumb and ring finger, 2 full cycles of breath, nice and slow. Thumb and pinky finger, 2 cycles of breath. And then let the hands be open. Thumb is not touching anything, just soft open hands. Let the breath return to its natural state. Open, easy, gentle breath. Regardless of whether you're lying on your back or sitting upright, begin to let your head subtly move side to side. So it's not a big movement, just slightly tilting one direction and then feeling as you move through the center position, tilting the other direction. Just an easy sway side to side. And then let the head remain centered and begin, if you're sitting upright, let your torso sway side to side. And if you're lying on your back, you could let your feet sway side to side. So your feet will fall left and then fall right. So just inviting a tiny bit of nurturing movement, just an easy rocking. And begin to find stillness. Let everything come to a place of stillness. And take a moment to reflect on your session, your practice today. What did you learn about yourself? Maybe it was on a physical level, a new awareness about some area of your body. Maybe it was mental, just your ability to focus or notice the thoughts that run through your head. Maybe it was something about the heart space, an emotion that was present. And maybe you're not sure. Maybe it will show up later. If you are reclined in Shavasana, begin to Slowly awaken with some gentle movement. And eventually drawing your knees in towards your chest. Resting on your right side. And when ready, coming upright, we'll all meet up in an upright position. And let the hands find one another right in front of the heart center as we bow. So grateful for this opportunity to get to know ourselves on a deeper level.